right, welcome back to Elevate Media Podcast. I'm Chris Anderson, your host. Today on this quick tip episode, I'm going to dive into storytelling and how you can do it better and why it's important. So storytelling, why is it so important? Storytelling, something we should all improve on, and I'm still improving on it. But the premise of it is that you want to grab people's attention and keep them engaged, because facts tell and stories sell. So being able to have a story just makes it easier to connect with people. It keeps them engaged. It's a reason we like movies. It's a reason we like reading books. It's not just, black and white factual things. There's stories to it. There's background. There's emotions. There's things that you can connect with and say, oh my goodness, yes, me too. I felt that. Or, oh my goodness, I feel like what they're going through. And so making sure we're trying to do our best telling stories, whether that be a personal story, maybe it's a story about you and your journey, or what you went through, or, where you came from. People resonate with that because they have some sort of connections with you and your story. Or maybe it's one you've heard. Maybe you hear someone telling their story or telling a story, and you can incorporate that into your content somehow. Of course, you're saying, I heard this person tell this story and it just really spoke to me, and you just kind of retell it. That's what stories are. Things you hear and you retell them. And so they're important because that's how we've always relayed information throughout the ages. We're stories. We're telling people stories of what happened. I think of, when we watch Braveheart, I'm going to tell you the tale of William Wallace. And excuse me for my terrible accent, but it's all about storytelling. And so how can you improve your storytelling going forward on social media, in your episodes, or how can you really share more stories that get people connected? So, and you can get better at storytelling by practicing, just doing it better, by listening to other people and their stories, and then have a list in your mind or on your phone or written down the stories that connect to a certain topic within your audience, and you can come back to those. And you do that more and you'll remember them. But learning from others, hearing other stories, reading, listening to podcast episodes that, people share things on. Those are all ways to get more stories for your kind of arsenal of storytelling. And in a moment you can pull one out. And of course, focus on the emotions of it. What are you trying to evoke in these stories? Is it fear? Is it happiness? Is it sadness? Is it, a sense of relief? What is the emotion? Because people buy on emotion and they take action on emotion. It just has to be strong enough. And as you're telling a story, if you have the ability to tell it in front of people and you can pick up on their energy and their reactions, you can shift the story a little bit. You can change how you present it or how you state certain things to bounce off their emotions. So if you can see they're kind of zoning out, they're not into it, you can come back with energy real fast and get them engaged and get them leaning in and wanting to hear more. So you've got to respond to the audience. When you're just doing it in front of the camera, sometimes it's harder. So you got to think of that in your mind, like how would they respond when you say something like that? And then you can always ask for feedback through your, hey, leave me a rating or review for this podcast if you like it. I'd love to hear, how you like it or what you like about the show, so we can continue to do that, more of that, or improve. So things like that, just asking for feedback, and people hopefully will take you up on it. But yeah, you just got to practice. You just got to get more stories in your repertoire to be able to share, to be able to talk about, whether they're your personal stories. Just think about your journey. Think about, for those listening who are starting their entrepreneurship journey, like I remember when I took that leap, I burned the boats. I literally quit my job as a pandemic was hitting here in Indiana. We had some savings, but my business was nothing. It was doing nothing. Zero income, zero revenue. And like sitting there after quitting my job, having some tears, come down my cheek, like felt like the whole world was just coming in around me. Now what? How am I going to support my family? How are we going to pay bills? Like, how is this going to happen? And then just kind of standing up and taking that first step forward. I felt the in-game theme song was playing behind me as I took a step forward, and just build up and the excitement and knowing that I was going to stop at nothing to succeed, to get where I needed to go, and that my faith and that God would provide what we need. Now, I'm not saying God's going to provide me millions of dollars, but he has the whole journey provided what I needed. And just feeling that sense of relief, and that first client, when you get that first client, you're like, oh, thank you, Lord. Oh, this is awesome. Like just that excitement you had. I remember, telling Hannah, like my wife, like, I got our first client. Yo, this is amazing. Maybe this is possible. And just like kind of just being really pumped about it, and then remembering to come back down to earth, like, all right, but we got to keep moving forward. And so just remember wherever you're at right now, whatever emotion you're feeling, think about it. Bring it internal. Like you're feeling happy, you're feeling sad, you're feeling demotivated, you're feeling motivated. And then just be in that moment for a second and say, okay, what do I need to do going forward? And that's how you can do with storytelling is, be in the moment, share your personal stories, share where you've been, where you're going. That's how you could start until you get more and hear more from other people. But storytelling is important. It gets people engaged. It gets people connected because they can resonate. So try to keep practicing, implement stories, and see how you do, and see, how you can improve going forward. So hope you can take something from this, start doing some more storytelling out there. Of course, I'm going to continue to improve as well, right along with you. And again, if you like this episode, if you like this show, leave us a rating or review. It helps us out, helps us grow, helps us help more people, and it helps us improve, give more to you. Thanks again. Go out there, elevate your business, elevate your life, and we'll talk again next time.